G'day people, this is Sharpino here. Welcome you guys to week 12 of the PMC League Battles. As you guys can tell, this is not the epic music I have before a Wi-Fi battle. That is because this is a replay. Now, unfortunately, my opponent has been extremely busy with work, and really it came down to the point where I had to bring my DS to work to conduct this battle. So I had to go ahead and upload this as an internet video from my other DS so I can play on this DS, because that's how it works, SD cards, shenanigans. Anyways, with that said, we're going to go ahead and get this shindig started. So without further ado, we're going to take battle against Misty. As you can see, her team's on the screen there. We've got her team down below as well. Looking at her team here, really there was only one difference I saw from her last team, and that was that the Dragonite was substituted with the, I believe it was Electivire. I think that was the one. Electivire or Torkoal. I couldn't remember which one she brought last time, but other than that though, her entire team has remained the same, so I thought this would be fantastic, considering that our team dominated her team in the last battle. So let's go ahead and get this battle started, preparing to play the battle video. Fantastic. So we're about to get Misty, so I prepare for a Deontay start, so we go ahead and start with an Uxie here to get off our rocks and everything. So we prepared. She brought the Deontay as we expected. We go for Thunder Wave, just in the opportunity she was going to bring in something else to take on the Uxie. Even though I know that the Deontay is paralyzed, but Deontay actually ends up going for a Moonblast. Now I thought this was actually a little bit interesting because Uxie is my special wall. As you can see, we just eat that up for breakfast, lunch and dinner. So I wasn't fussed by Moonblast, so we go ahead and eat that up. That's about 50 damage roughly. We go for the Stealth Rock on our next turn here, so we think, you know what, we're pretty good here. It's going to go for another Moonblast here at this point here, so I'm thinking, does it not have a Stealth Rock? So that actually does just over 50, so she got a bit of a high roll there, and for the second time in a row she got a special attack drop. So looking at this and seeing it's not a very good situation, we're going to go ahead and go fire off the U-turn. And we'll go ahead and swap it to Suicune, because really Suicune can, god damn it, are we serious? So, alright, can we connect please? There we go. So we swap into the Suicune here to the U-turn, and Deontay does get a turn paralysis. So really, it didn't really affect us too much in a way, and we find out that's leftovers. So it's the bulky variant that we saw in our first battle against the Misty Drapions. So we go ahead and fire for Scald here. The same as damage it does. That's about roughly 30%. Roughly, not too bad there. And this Deontay's just going to keep firing Moonblast. So I don't know if this is specs or anything, because it just keeps firing off Moonblast. It's not doing anything else. So we're going to go for a Scald here to try and whittle down this Deontay. But we do have Rest Set, so that time did a little bit more. I think we got a high roll, but Deontay does get the paralysis, which actually works out for us. Because it just means we can go ahead and just not waste the rest on the Deontay. We can actually waste on something else. So we go for the third Scald here on this Deontay, and the Deontay goes down to that Scald, of course. So we are now up 1 against the Misty Drapions. Hopefully my capture card will not shit itself before this battle finishes. So next comes in the Starmie here. Now I didn't know if I wanted to go for a Thunderbolt or something, so I decided to stay in just to see what I wanted to go for. I went for a Rest. Goes for a Psychic, that does a lot of damage, and I think at that point a Thunderbolt actually would have killed my Suicune in this range. But luckily for us, we do live it. We're going to go get a Rest up here, so that actually works out for us. Get ourselves back up to full health after that Psychic, and get that Resto Chesto. Let's go. Now, in this situation, I thought I'd go ahead and now swap it to Uxie. Now, I could have easily swapped into the Sableye or the Krookodile, but obviously it would destroy with a Hydro Pump or Dazzling Gleam. So seeing that is a Life Orb variant. So I put in Uxie to be a special defensive wall. I was going to go ahead and fire off a Thunder Wave against this the Starmie here. But this Starmie turns around and goes for a big old Hydro Pump. And sure enough, a Life Orb Hydro Pump. Even if I am a fully specially defensive invested Uxie, a critical hit will get the kill. I doubt the crit mattered. I'm pretty sure the crit would have still killed me either way. I wasn't calculating, so I wasn't too sure. So we go ahead and bring up the Krookodile. Now this Krookodile is Choice Scarf, so if it stayed in, which it did, we go ahead and fire for the Crunch. We outspeed, so we're all looking good here. And the Crunch is enough to get the kill on the Starmie there. Also answers back with the crit. Again, don't know if that crit mattered. I'm pretty sure it didn't, but if she had some HP investment into that Starmie, maybe it could have made a difference. Next she's going to bring a Sticks, which is her Drapion here. Nice shiny Drapion there. One of the coolest shinies actually. Now, obviously, because we're locked to the Crunch, we're not obviously going to stick around, so we're going to go ahead and swap out And we're going to go ahead and swap it to Suicune, expecting the knockoff, because obviously knockoff just seems to be the best move for a Drapion. And sure enough, it does go in fact for that knockoff. So doing next to nothing to the Suicune here, we do have the rest here, and we do reveal the black sludge on that that sticks there. So we're going to go ahead and fire for Scald here, just to see how much damage this does to this Drapion here. Does nearly half, but it goes for a Whirlwind, so maybe she was expecting us to go for a Calm Mind or a Substitute or something like that, and brings in my Celebi, which at this point it wasn't too bad because at this point Drapion is low enough that a Life Orb Earth Power was going to kill, and sure enough she did stay in on that, and we do get the kill on the Drapion. So goes down her mascot. I'm sorry, I know how it feels to lose a mascot, you know. In battle it's always heartbreaking. So Fiend's going to come in next. Now this is where I kind of misplay here. I would class this as a misplay. Now, I should have assumed a Dazzling Gleam from a Life Orb would not kill a Mega Medicham, but I stayed in anyway, and my reasoning was because I actually thought it could kill. So we do in fact go for a Life Orb Dazzling Gleam. I thought this was going to kill, and you're going to see it lives on just a slither of health, and I'm just like, oh my god, here comes the Ice Punch. Sure enough, here comes the Ice Punch. And a huge power Ice Punch from a Mega Medicham is enough to get the kill on me with the crit. But again, I don't think that crit mattered. I think a huge power Adamant Medicham would have done wonders. Even a Jolly Step would have probably killed it because it wasn't defensive. Goes for a Ball Punch because she knows I'm scarfed. We're going to go for that Crunch here, and that Crunch is going to go ahead and get the kill on that Medicham. So we're getting ourselves another kill for Krookodile to try and get ourselves up there on the kills, because at this point Krookodiles in the top 5 killers of the PMC, which is fantastic, and you know we're doing pretty well with that. Next comes Faith. This is the Dragonite. Stealth Rock's breaking that multi-scale, goes for Extreme Speed here. I probably should have swapped here, but that was a critical hit. She's landing crits left and right. We're going to go for a Crunch here. Now, this is where I make a misplay here. I should have probably swapped out here, but I didn't know if I was going to go for another Extreme Speed or something like that, but at that range, an Extreme Speed would have killed, so probably to preserve my mascot, I probably should have just brought in the Sableye or the Talonflame, but we're going to bring in Talonflame here. It's going for an Extreme Speed here. I just wanted to let Talonflame have some kills, because really, Talonflame really hasn't done a lot in this season. Not as much as it did in the last season, but Talonflame's going to come through here, get that Brave Bird off, if those Extreme Speed did come through. We're going to get the kill on the Dragonite with the Brave Bird there, and last Pokemon being a Pangoro, we know even a Jolly Pangoro will not live a Brave Bird from a Talonflame. Sharp Beak, Adamant Boosted, no Focus Sash, forget it. It ain't living. So we go ahead and we're going to wrap up this victory against the Misty Drapions, now sitting at 3-0. So that's not a bad finish for this here. I was about to get a DNP because Misty really was really hard to track down, but nevertheless, we got this result from an actual battle, so I guess it matters that we got an actual victory. So our final result for the Sydney Krookodiles stands to 7-5, which means we make it to the playoffs. Yay! But now here's how things are going to work. So let me just break things down for you so you guys understand what's going on. So sitting in my division, I'm currently sitting at 3rd. So I'll just turn this music off here. There we go. Okay, so currently I'm sitting 3rd in my division, which means 4th and 5th in my division will now play off for the final spot in the quarterfinals. The winner of that match will take on the first place winner in our division, which is the Great Lake Greninjas. And I'll be taking on the Dallas Staryus, which, if you guys remember, was my Week 6 opponent, which I got done in by a Weakness Policy New baton pass onto Togekiss sweep. So we can only hope that we have some answers for that, because that was absolutely absurd right there. So we need to prep really hard for the Staryus, but we do have next week off, so there'll be no Wi-Fi battles next week. And again, I do apologize for the late delivery of this Wi-Fi battle, but time restrictions and commitments really kept me from putting it up on the day of the expected upload. So please do forgive me for that. Hopefully it won't happen again. But for the time being, we made the playoffs, which is fantastic. We finished up 7-5, which is a lot better than we did in the last season. So fantastic. And one can only aspire to become the PMC Season 2 champion. But we won't get too ahead of ourselves here. We do have some prep ahead of us to deal with a good duelist, nevertheless, but just crazy drilling strategies that we need to get under our belt. So thank you very much for watching this Wi-Fi battle. If you enjoyed, make sure you like button down below for us. Make sure you go ahead and check out Twisted Misty and her channel. She does do a little Pokemon content like myself. And until next time I see you guys, stay safe, stay sharp, and I will catch you guys all next time. Later!